Hello, my name's Luke. Instead of just sponging off other people's YouTube channels, I'm going to put up some content of my own, at least by way of thanks to those who've helped me and made me laugh and inspired me. A series of still photos, unfortunately. There's a few videos in there, because as we know, the last thing most of us want to be doing is setting up a camera, half a dozen viewpoints, moving stuff around, as well as actually doing the job. Job can be tricky, uncomfortable, painful, expensive to fix, and the last thing you want to do is be messing around with a video camera. But I did do a few videos, but most of the content in this particular YouTube video is photos that I'll talk over. That green boat with the red sails is a Sea King, I believe. That's me in the photo, taken in the late 1980s. We are in Bosahan Cove, which is on the Helford River in Cornwall, southwest England. I know this is a Sea King because I recently contacted a group of people in Marazion, which that boat there was made in Marazion. That boat had a plaque on it. And I've been looking, well, ever since I used that boat, I've got the opportunity to use the boat, for one of those boats. It's similar to a Falmouth bass boat. It hasn't got a raked stern, it's got a flat stern. It's not as big, as heavy as a Drascombe lugger. It's about 16 foot long, 5 foot wide. It probably weighs 300 kilos, 300 kilos I suppose. Easily trailerable. It's got a flat bottom, so it's not particularly super seaworthy, not like a Drascombe, but does the trick. I mean, we had some excellent laughs in that boat. This is the YouTube ad that I saw in January last year. It was a buy it now, and I hit click, 500 quid. I recognised the stem shape and the belly of the boat. There's another photo of it. As you can see, there's not much gunnel there. The trailer was knackered, completely toast. So that after several trips to and from Cornwall, Devon rather, that's my mate, on the left-hand side of the photo, mate Chris. He's just as mad as me and agreed to help me get this thing back up to Birkenhead. I had to buy that car trailer off Pete, who's the fella in the centre of the photo who bought it off, to get the boat back up. And as you can see, the tyres look a bit dodgy, and one of them burst, and I had to leave this boat trailer at a lady who was actually married to the bloke who owned the green boat. She lives in Devon now. He died about 10, 15 years ago. On the A361, one of these tyres burst. We pulled in. I phoned her up. And, can I leave my boat on your path? She said, yeah. Thanks for that, Mary. Really appreciate it. And eventually, we got the boat back to Birkenhead. Here's some photographs of that's the breast hook. That's what state that's in. This is the rear port side quarter. It's a shot down the starboard side. One of the knees there. All this is, I think it's teak. It's made out of the slats and the thwart. There's a picture showing across the back of the stern. So there's a board in between these two fiberglass panels. So they've laminated a big pine board in between two bits of in between the fiberglass. And unfortunately, over the years, the capping rail's gone, and water's just been soaking down inside this softwood core. I mean, that was absolutely ragged, that, so I've gouged most of that out. There's another shot up the port-hand side, so you can see the gunnel has just disappeared, the in-whale has gone on the gunnel itself. You see it's full of water. Another shot showing general major decay, and there's the stern seat. You see the water soaking in through the plywood there. And here's a view with it on my drive. You can see I've stripped all of the crap out of it. All the seats are gone, slats are gone. I've started to take the, I don't know what you call that, the strips that run along, kind of stringers I suppose, but they're on the other side of these stringer strips is the rubbing strip on the outside. It was copper rove construction when it was first made, and I've replaced both of these inside outside with Shisham Indian hardwood, but this is what it looked like when I was basically stripped it right back to the wood. You can see the little frames that they made for the sole. Rather a tatty, sorry looking state, but it was better there than it was in the previous photo. It's not full of water. In this picture you can see my attempts, or the method I used to replace the gunnels with. The hardwood I used, like I said in the previous clip, is called, well, it's called Shisham, I believe. I got some 8-foot lengths, 4-inch square, from a local reclamation yard in Wallasey. Lovely, pale, coloured stuff, absolutely rock hard. I had originally cut the sections, well, cut some sections the right size, width and thickness, depth and thickness. And whilst I've sussed out how to steam the stuff using a wallpaper stripper and a bit of polythene bag. I could bend it one way, but I couldn't get the edge set that I needed for the curve up to the bow. It just wasn't happening. So what I did was I chopped the wood up into about 15 millimetres square sections, and scarfed these together to form 16-foot lengths, and I clamped them, as you can see, to the top edge of the gunnel, stripped all the crappy gel coats off and all the mould and crap, whisked it back down to the fiberglass underneath, and then epoxied these in place. So I'd do the inner, and I'd screw through the fiberglass with stainless steel screws all the way along, 50 odd screws. Let that set, take the screws out, and then repeat for the outside strip, but I'd screw from the inside this way. And I've repeated that, so there's the top pair here, and then immediately underneath those is another pair, so there's two stacked on top of each other to form the gunnel. In this video you can see the white hull sandwiched between the strips. It's like a glue lamp, I suppose, of the gunnel strips that are made up, and rubbing strips are made out of the same wood and stuck on the outside. So that is now rock solid, I think it's just as rigid as it would have been had I been able to bend the capping rail. But it looks okay, and it's nice and strong. You can also see the grain in the lodging knee. That's a piece of oak from a dead oak tree that they were chopping down up the road. So I went and got a bunch of crooks from the lads who were doing that. So I was able to make the grain follow the bend of the knee. Really chuffed with that. Thank you to Louis Sawzadeh from Tips My Shipwright for that one. He gave me the idea. If you remember what the original breast hook looked like, this was difficult. It's made out of oak. There's a bit of marine ply right on the very nose. It's difficult because all the angles are all dead weird, and there's other screws and stuff in the way, but it kind of evolved. It's the best way to describe it. But it's bolted down to the what's it called? The stem knee. There's a great big piece of wood that runs up the front of the stem. It's about 6 inches deep, 2 inches wide. But this thing's bolted down to it, so the forestay is now really, really beefy. I bought those fair leads, probably slightly oversized for the boat, but they look all right. Give it a bit of poshness, you know. Quite proud of that. Here's a knee I chopped out of another piece of oak from the tree up the road. I've left the chainsaw marks in it, so I think they look really cool. And that is a number 18 4-inch brass wood screw, which I found for knocking round in my dad's flat. If you want to go and buy them, they're about £6 each, so I was lucky to find them. This is a picture of the keel, swing keel. The original was a piece of 18mm marine plywood. Around the area of the little dot in the top right-hand corner, that was just completely dissolved. I wasn't confident at the time to set up the scarf joints. I would have needed to replace the rotted out bit. So I used a piece of marine plywood that I had knocking round and epoxied it all up and covered it in resin and cloth, made it really nice and strong, and even put weights in it, but it was buckled. There's a slight bow in it. I thought it would fit into the slot in the boat, and when I put it in, it nearly got jammed, so that I nearly didn't get it back out again. Schoolboy error. So I went and bought a sheet of this glass reinforced plastic board stuff. I'm not quite sure what you call it, but it's dead strong, surprisingly heavy, and isn't going to rot. The dot in the top right hand corner is a piece of 13mm pipe with an 8mm inside diameter, which I've epoxied into the keel so that it'll swing on its bolt. And there's another little hole toward where the tool kit is, which is where the pin will go in to stop it from falling down. So that should work okay. That's why I've got a white keel. Thanks for watching, if you're still watching. I said at the beginning I'd create this video by way of thanks to people whose videos I've already watched and learned a lot from. I'll go through a quick list now, and I'll tag all these people with their channel names in the description of the video. I'll put them somewhere anyway. Got Louis from Tips from a Shipwright, James from Sailingzingaro, Leo and his band of wizards from the Samson Boat Company, Luke and Adam from the Sailing Brothers, Matt from the Duracell Project, Terry from Bumbling Sailor, Jerome from Sailing into Oblivion, Dave from Sailing with Dave, Erik from NJBS, that's not right, Erik from NBJS, no bullshit, just sailing, Roger from, well, himself, Roger Barnes, of course, Alan from Sailing Wave Rover, and Andy and family from Sailing Melody. That's some of the people I subscribe to and watch avidly. And having spent 3 hours just talking over pictures and using a freebie video editor, it cannot be underestimated the amount of time and effort that all of these people put into the quality of the videos and the content that they produce on YouTube. And this is a pile of shit compared to the stuff they make. But as I move forward with other repairs and stuff, like I note in my YouTube info about, I'll do as best I can to get some slightly better content videos. Cheers for now. Bye.